Hello and welcome to this preview of Dented Shield Season 4. We are going to be getting underway this week. A bit of unfinished business from Season 3 is that we had the third place playoff between the North team and the Lizardmen team. We never got a chance to look at it. It happened after the final, which is our last game. But the Lizardmen won that one 2-1. That was a very close overtime win, I think it was. Looking back at that. But yeah, we'll see both of these teams are returning for Season 4, so we'll see them in a bit. We're just going to go in. So I only had 5 of the 8 teams register so far. But we can have a look at them all anyway. So we've got all 8 coaches are coming back, which is nice. The first time we've had that in one of our seasons. And I think it's 5 of the teams are returning. Let's have a quick look through and see what we have. So this is the team that finished 4th last time out. A big North team with the Yeti. Excuse me. And they did pick up, I think, 1 or 2 levels from that last match. So they have a leader thrower. It's the main reason I like to have a thrower in a North team is to get that cheap reroll. 2 off runners, 1 with block, 1 with strength 5. Strength 5 1 also on agility 1. But yeah, getting both of those leveled is good work. Yeti's taken an armor bonus. It's a good place to have it, I think. Like, big guys are usually armor 9. And 8 does feel very low for them. But it has mighty blow, so it has the mighty blow claw combo. And yeah, plus 1 armor. I hope that wasn't a double ignored to get that. But yeah, I think it's actually just as likely it wasn't, because it's a roll of a 10. So 1 unleveled berserker with the guard. I think you want the other one leveling as well. So this one might be looking to score a couple of early touchdowns next season. A dodge runner and another unleveled one. A dauntless lineman. So 3 dauntless players on the team. Dauntless lineman is taking a movement penalty. A tackle lineman, a sure hands lineman. Excuse me. A couple of unleveled ones, and this one is out for the next game. Just out for the next game, nothing permanent on there. So they what's their record? So all the teams that are returning have played 9 games, so 3 wins, 1 draw, 5 defeats. So I think they'll be looking to kick on a bit this season. And I think, like with some of the other teams in the league, are obviously in a better position than when they started the first season. Team value is quite high as well, which shows that they've developed somewhat. There's a lot of team value in that strength 5 off wearing up, but that's a good advance. I don't think I'd have passed that up. There we go. That is North team. Only 1 North team this season. Did have 2 last time out. So this is my Underworld team, who return in second season again. Finished 5th last season, and exactly like I was just saying, in a better position than when the last season started, and yeah, hoping for more out of them this time, because we've got some good advances in from the start now. And I think my worst games were all at the beginning of the season. They started to feel like they were coming together a bit later on. So decided to give them another season. And we got 3 of our goblins have levels. So we've got 2 heads, which means he's just always dodging on 2s. Big hand, which has had a couple of really good moments. Stunty big hand combo. Get into tight spots, pick up the ball with no penalty. Something I wanted from the very beginning, and have 3 unleveled goblins here. I think I might buy an extra one. I'd like to be in a position where I can always have 3 unleveled goblins on the line of scrimmage, so I might get myself a backup. Can afford one. So 3 unleveled ones, agility 4 one, who also is going to be always dodging on 2s, but doing mostly agility stuff on 2s. The only agility 4 player in the league. Kind of a shame it's a goblin, but stunty and agility 4 is a great combination. I would like next for either this 2 heads one or this agility 4 one, if one of them rolls a double, they're getting wrestle and they'll be going after ball carriers. Sort of dodging into cages on a 2, and then throw in hopefully is going to be 2 red dice blocks. I'll try and make sure that's the case, because that's a really good chance of pulling down a ball carrier even if they've got block. So that's the plan for one of those 2, and I'm hoping one of them's going to roll a double next time. 2 throwers on the team. So this one with block accurate and a niggling injury. Other one has no levels as yet, but I might try and get a touchdown on that one early next season. Don't really know how I'd like to develop these to make them different yet though. Yeah, I had to think about that as we go. Two Skaven linemen, one troll with guard, and then hang on, there's another. I do have 4 unleveled goblins, so maybe I'll hold off and buy another one at the moment. But yeah, 2 blitzers, who are the important players on the team, the most important players on the team really. So one with tackle, one with mighty blow and claw, who had the most knockouts in the league last season. I'd like him to pick up a few more casualties though, and 100 successful blocks is one of the highest in the league as well. But yeah, only 3 casualties to show for that. But 10 knockouts was, as I said, the highest in the league. So yeah, going okay, and kind of feels like, yeah, this guy's not far off leveling again. I'm not desperate to get levels on the Skaven linemen, but they could be useful to have a couple of wrestlers in the team maybe. We'll see how I feel about that, and I definitely don't want to be developing all the goblins, I don't think, because they're too easy to take out, and it's sort of a lot of value missing if they go. So I may just try and concentrate on these 3, try and make them extra useful, leave the others without levels, but yeah, I'll see how it goes. And you kind of you actually have no control at all over MVPs and stuff like that, and on the occasional accidental casualty. But yeah, next up we've got Lizardmen. So this team finished 3rd, beating the Norse in the 3rd place playoff, and they've had some real problems with injuries. So I've got 2 block skinks. One of them has armor 6, the other one has a niggling injury. So both of them easier to hurt, but both being block dodge players are hard to knock over in the first place, but they do keep going. I don't think they've had a chance to play both of them in the same game yet. This one's missing next game. I think it already had its niggling injury, and now is missing the next game again. But there's those 2, sort of probably the best skinks, but both vulnerable at the same time. 3 sidestep skinks, one with diving tackle, and then 2 unleveled ones, and then Saurus. So Saurus are the main players you want leveling, and it's harder to do, but getting them to score touchdowns is a great way to do it. This guy's on 4, so maybe you just want to go around making sure he's hitting someone every turn to try and pick up a casualty. But yeah, 3 of the Saurus have leveled, so all 3 have block. One has mighty blow as well, and also a niggling injury, so that's another injury hangover they've got. Croxigore just levelled in that last game as well, so it took 9 games to get to 3 casualties, but picked up guard, which is only going to make all the Saurus better as well. So they are there. They're in finished 3rd, and the coach of this team, I think, went from 5th to 2nd in the first 2 seasons, so may again be looking to see if they can improve on the 3rd. And we've got 2 new Bretonian teams. So this coach had the other Norse team last time around, who finished 8th overall. Now having a go with some Bretonians. So can afford another blitzer at the moment because they're 110, I think. 110 or 12? Yeah, 110. I think he's considering saving up for a reroll. I honestly think a blitzer would be a better choice at this point. I think 3 rerolls plus leader on one of the blitzers will be plenty. You've got a lot of block and wrestle in this team, so you're not going to need to reroll that many blocks, I don't think. Providing you're focusing your rerolls on avoiding turnovers. Obviously there's always the greed reroll factor, and you can't necessarily account for that. It's 2 of the blitzers have got levels so far. This one's 1 point off another one, so a quick throw in the next game could get that one leveled up. Other 2 are on 8s, that's probably an MVP and a touchdown each. But one has mighty blow, which is a great great pick on an early double. Rolling a double first is really good, because it gives you a player who can go just making holes, trying to get players off the pitch. But yeah, 3 of the blitzers have got levels so far. This one's 1 point off another one, so a quick throw in the next game could get that one leveled up. 2 are on 8s, that's probably an MVP and a touchdown each. But one has mighty blow, which is a great pick on an early double. Rolling a double first is really good, because it gives you a player who can go just making holes, trying to get players off the pitch. yeah, which is great. Exactly what I'd have picked on a double for a blitzer. Other one who's leveled has dodge. And blitzers are the most important players in this team, which is why I think that 110 of that should probably go on a fourth one before the season starts. So 3 of the blockers, also important players, not as much as the blitzers. But yeah, good to get a fourth one of them next as well, probably. Only one of them's leveled so far and has guard. He's up on 12 points, so may have picked up a couple of MVPs. There's also a lineman on 12 points, so they might have had. Let's see. Yeah, so this lineman's nicked 2 MVPs. But yeah, guard on the blocker is yeah, great choice again, and again exactly what I'd have done. Yeah, sort of guard and stand firm or grab would be how I'd probably develop those. Probably one of them I'd want, because they come with wrestle. It's like 1/3 of the way towards the perfect tackle build. So it would be like strip ball and tackle would be the next 2 advances for one of them for me. And this guy's 3 points over level. So maybe if this one can throw to this one in the next game, that could level both of those. And we've got 5 linemen. Yeah, 3 of those are leveled. So I mean that's going to happen sometimes. I wouldn't focus on leveling the linemen because they're not going to do the work on this team. 2 of them are block, 1 with tackle. Yeah, so sub tackle in the team is definitely useful, and it's a couple of blockers for the line. Yeah, is very useful. Starting with 3 rerolls, has an apothecary, and he's in quite good shape, ready to start a season. So what we've done with new teams coming in, which these are 2 of. There's one more as well who we'll see in the invited ones. Is to allow them to play 5 games in a solo league, so against the AI, to start getting team development underway. So these 2 teams have both played 5 games, have levelled at different amounts, but you can see from this one, and I think the Undead team will see as well. Actually, I've got all the team values over here. Yeah, they're at 1330. So the average team value going in is about 1400. So it gives them a good sort of first step to, like you can see, the team values aren't really that far off. This one is quite low still, but there's a couple of players in there who are, as we saw, who are pretty close to another level. Yeah, next game you could quite easily get maybe 3 more players leveling, and that would push the team value up. And they've got money to spend as well, or probably another blitzer. And if they do that, they're 2880. So it's all quite evened out quite well. I think 5 games is a good number coming in to match up with the teams who played 9 against each other last season. So the second Plutonium team here. So this is the coach who had Chaos Dwarfs last season and finished 2nd overall, but has gone with a different team, and has managed to level all 4 blitzers in their 5 games. One's taken tackle and strip ball, which is a really good combo for ball hunting. I think it works better with wrestle than block generally. So we might see one of the blockers take that as well. But they're still really useful. It's just if you're stuck with the both down and the ball carrier's got block as well, it's not going to do anything, whereas wrestle would bring them down still. But tackle and strip ball are often plenty to knock a ball carrier over, so this is still going to be a dangerous player. We've got a quick blitzer with dodge, so movement 8 and dodge. Also he's going to be very dangerous on the attack, probably on defence as well. Might catch someone out with how far he can reach. And then 2 dodge blitzers as well, so all 4 blitzers getting levels. 2 of them have 2, so it's really, I mean, you can see we're only one of the linemen's leveled and picked up strength 4, which is pretty cool. Yeah, because he stole 2 MVPs and an accidental casualty. But yeah, there's no other linemen have leveled. So it means all the team value and all the levelling has been able to go into the important players, which I think puts them in a better starting position than the other Plutonian team, which is saw. Yeah, 2 blockers both with guard, and yeah, really these 8 players are what Plutonian teams are all about. And having yeah, four of each of those as well at this point is a really good position. Again, 3 rerolls and 1 apothecary. And yeah, and if they want to take leader on one of these, they have that available as a normal advance. Could try and get this blitzer leveled next game maybe. But yeah, and 2 guard blockers, 2 unleveled ones. Got a strength 2 lineman who's probably not going to be sticking around. And there are 11 players for the next game anyway, but only 3 linemen on the pitch, which means if you can injure one of those linemen, they've got to put someone important on the line. Is something to bear in mind. So may want to replace this. I do enjoy the names on this team. This coach used these same names in a team for casual play a while back. But yeah, restarted to use in the league this season. Yeah, so they're in pretty good starting position. 3 more teams will need to accept their tickets before we can start and generate fixtures and stuff. But the Monster Mash are coming back because they finished 6th overall last time. And much like myself and the first North team we looked at, I think we'll be feeling like they're in a much better position to start this season than the first one, and looking to improve this time around. So two flesh golems in, one with Mighty Blow, who's not that far off another level, and would probably love block to go with that. Actually, both flesh golems could be leveling quite quickly. I'd love to see a touchdown on this one for the level. That'd be cool. But this one just needs to keep hitting people. It's probably got that from an MVP, like almost certainly. Yeah, so just picked up an MVP. Needs to be pitching in. Come on, Frank, get some casualties. 2 whites, so did lose a white early on in the season, which slowed down their levelling a bit. One has tackle, but I'm sure we'll be wanting to get some more levels on those. And whites are pretty good candidates for touchdown scoring as well for levels. The Wolves have both levelled quite quickly over the 9 games. Both have 2 advances each, so we've got dodge and block on one, block and tackle on the other. 4 of the zombies have levelled. One of them's rolled a double and taken guard. Got a kick zombie, which is really useful and often underrated. 2 block zombies, 1 without a level, and 2 ghouls. So 2 ghouls with no advances yet. This one's probably just chucked a couple of passes. Yeah, 2 passes for those 2 points. Yeah, and there they are. So probably got pretty much all the players they're going to want as well. Could maybe afford 1 more zombie, but don't need to buy it necessarily. Just wait to kill somebody and have another zombie in the team might be worth filling that 14th spot, just for a bit of bench. And yeah, has everybody else you'd want to buy. And is, like I said, looking good for a second season run. This is another new team, so played 5 AI games. And I'm going to deliberately call this the Jin Gangulis all the way through the season, just to annoy the coach, because that's my job. So no levels on zombies, which is fine. You don't need or necessarily want much of them. There are a couple of useful things you can take if any of them accidentally level. So that looks like 2 MVPs have gone on zombies, which is a shame, and 1 casualty there. And they're probably a level at some point, but you want to focus really on these players leveling, and probably the ghoul as well. Oh no, hang on, sorry, we have got 2 ghouls levelled. Miscalculated a bit there, so there's a 3rd ghoul in. But yeah, levelling these players is important, and they've managed to do that over the 5 games they've had. 2 block shorthand ghouls, so these have probably scored a lot of touchdowns each, I'd have thought. I was going to 3. 3 and 2 MVPs and a casualty, so that one's sitting on 21 points and 16. Yeah, so 3 touchdowns each for those, plus some casualties, MVPs and stuff. 2 sure hands block ghouls, 2 mighty blow whites, one pretty close to levelling, or 3 touchdowns between these 2 whites would level them both again. 2 guard mummies, they've probably just hit 3 casualties each, and then we've got a ghoul here. I often like building defensive ghouls before attacking ones, but I mean, people are going to do things differently, and it's fine. Just because that thing I think I've highlighted before with my Chaos team, where I didn't take sure hands on a Beastman for ages because I like building defensive players first, but it's just the way I prefer to do things. Just so I don't get caught in the thing where my attacking players keep scoring touchdowns and no one else levels. But you can make sure they do that. Like getting more touchdowns on these whites will be important over the sort of early season, and then getting this ghoul leveled as well. To more defensive builds. So defensive ghoul builds that I like would be to pick up block, sidestep and diving tackle on one, and wrestle, tackle, strip ball on another, because they're very good players to have on defence. But yeah, they're ready to go. 3 re-rolls. I don't think coaches or cheerleaders are necessary. I think in a league it's less impactful than things like in championship ladder, where team value gets you matched against harder opponents and stuff. I probably wouldn't bother having them, but obviously it's fine. They do have an effect when those kick-off table rolls come up, and it can get you extra re-rolls. I just think it's a bit too situational to go for. And then last season champions, Geezers. For Fortune Guardians, we've got a movement 3/1 with guard. Just considering whether or not I'd replace this one. I probably wouldn't actually. I mean, you can afford to bin this one off and start again, but I don't know, you'd lose a guard then. Maybe some point down the line it might be worth thinking about, but I think the guard's too important at the moment, and the movement difference is negligible, really. But yeah, 2 other Toon Guardians, one with Mighty Blow and Piling On as well. Who I think Piling On's not had that much effect yet, but it has had a couple of moments. This Toon Guardian could do with catching up as well. Blitzers definitely need to be leveling 4 and 5 points respectively. They need to score some touchdowns. I think I think all the touchdowns pretty much have gone to the throwers so far, which you kind of expect. I think the blitzers need to be running the ball in over the line as well. Actually, did one of them? I think this one might have scored 1 touchdown. Yeah, 1 touchdown, 1 casualty, and the other one's just picked up 2 casualties. But yeah, getting these players leveled will be really important, as going 9 games with neither of them leveling is a really long. It's a really long time for them to go without hitting 6 points. And yeah, basically this Toon Guardian and this thrower have just hogged all the points. And most of the touchdowns, I think 1 skeleton scored a touchdown, and notably in the final 1 Toon Guardian scored a touchdown. I think it was this one. That was the winner in overtime after a touchback. 2 leveled skeletons, 1 block, 1 wrestle, 4 rerolls, which is plenty. I don't think you're gonna ever want any more. So could maybe start thinking about spending money on inducements. Maybe there's not really a lot else to buy over here. But yeah, that's our league. That's all the teams in it. No leaderboard or schedule or that at the moment because of the three outstanding tickets to accept, but the format is round robin, so everyone will play 7 games, playing each other once, and then we do playoffs, so top 4, bottom 4 into semi-finals and finals in knockout, sort of seeded, so first will play 4th, 2nd, 3rd, and then meet in the final. And that's how we go. We're doing our game rounds are going to be 2 weeks this season. Just there's a lot going on, like three of the coaches in the league, including myself, all due to move house over the summer, and all have additional complications as well, like one of them's moving cities, one of the other ones is getting married around the same time as well, in about a month, just under a month. So yeah, there's a lot going on for the coaches. We're going to spread the season out a bit longer, so it'll take longer to get through. I think in theory 18 weeks. But yeah, we all have coverage of these. I'll do again all of my Underworld games and try and do at least one in every round this time. I think having 2 weeks per round will help that and make it a bit easier. But yeah, watch on, and we'll have games starting this week. League's due to start tomorrow.